Allow your body to settle into a comfortable position, letting the weight of the day simply drift away like a leaf carried on a gentle current. Close your eyes and take a deep, slow breath, inhaling the promise of rest and exhaling any lingering tension. Tonight, we are going on a journey to a place where history breathes through the stones, where the night sky wraps itself around ancient domes like a velvet cloak, and where the passage of time slows to a rhythmic, soothing pulse. We are traveling to Rome, the eternal city, but not the Rome of crowded museums or midday heat. We are going to find the city in its most secret, intimate hour, just as it begins to sleep. Imagine that you have just arrived. The journey is over, and you are standing at the edge of the historic center. The air is mild, holding onto the warmth of the sun that set hours ago, radiating softly from the earth beneath your feet. It is a distinctive warmth, one that feels baked into the very foundations of the world. The sky above is a deep, impenetrable indigo, sprinkled with the faint suggestion of stars that have watched over this sprawling metropolis for thousands of years. Here, the darkness is not empty. It is a canvas of deep blues and rich blacks, framing the silhouette of the city against the horizon. You begin to walk. The ground beneath you is paved with sandpitrini, the small, black cobblestones that are as much a part of Rome as the Colosseum itself. They are uneven, polished smooth by centuries of footsteps, rain, and history. Beneath the soles of your shoes, you can feel their texture, a gentle, bumpy rhythm that grounds you in the present moment. There is no rush here. The frenetic energy of the modern world has dissolved, leaving only the quiet echo of your own steps and the distant, soft murmur of a city winding down. As you move deeper into the labyrinth of narrow streets, you notice the colors of the night. Rome at night is painted in shades of amber, gold, and burnt sienna. The street lamps cast pools of warm, yellow light against the stucco walls of the buildings. These walls, textured and aged, tell stories in their peeling paint and ivy-covered facades. The light catches the ironwork of balconies and the heavy wooden shutters that are closed tight against the night, sealing in the dreams of the Romans sleeping within. The entire city feels like a living room, illuminated by candlelight, cozy and inviting. The air smells of old stone and night-blooming jasmine, with a faint, comforting hint of baked bread lingering from the trattorias that have long since closed their kitchens. Occasionally, a gentle breeze winds its way through the alleyways, carrying with it the coolness of the Tiber River, refreshing your skin and clearing your mind. You turn a corner, and the narrow street suddenly opens up, revealing the expansive embrace of a piazza. This is your destination. It is one of the many celebrated squares of the city, perhaps Piazza Navona, or a smaller, hidden gem known only to locals. this hour, it is almost entirely empty. The crowds have vanished, leaving the space to the statues and the shadows. The architecture rises around you, grand and theatrical, with Baroque churches and palaces standing as silent guardians in the moonlight. The sheer scale of the buildings makes you feel protected, held safely within the heart of the city. In the center of the piazza stands a fountain. Water has flowed here for hundreds of years, and tonight, its sound is the only music in the air. You walk toward it, drawn by the melody of falling water. It is a consistent, splashing rhythm, a white noise that washes away any remaining thoughts of the waking world. The water catches the light from the street lamps, shivering like liquid diamonds before cascading into the basin below. You find a place to sit at the edge of the piazza, perhaps on a cool marble bench or the stone rim of the fountain itself. The stone is cool to the touch, a refreshing contrast to the warm air. You settle in, letting your shoulders drop, letting your hands rest loosely in your lap. You are simply an observer, a silent witness to the beauty of the sleeping city. This is the moment when Rome exhales. You can almost feel it, a collective sigh of relief as the hustle of the day evaporates. The shutters are closed, the cars are parked, and the voices are hushed. The city settles into itself, reclaiming its ancient dignity. It is a heavy, peaceful feeling, a sense of endurance and permanence. Empires have risen and fallen, eras have come and gone, but the stones remain, and the water flows, and the night always brings this gift of silence. Sitting here, surrounded by the ghosts of the Renaissance and the whispers of antiquity, you feel a profound sense of connection to the past and a deep, grounding peace in the present. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to be. You are free to simply exist in this beautiful, amber-lit moment, breathing in time with the city. The anticipation of sleep begins to rise within you, mirroring the quietude of the streets. The water continues its endless lullaby, and the shadows lengthen, inviting you to close your eyes and drift along with the Tiber, flowing gently toward the sea of dreams. The evening air in Rome holds a lingering warmth, a gentle reminder of the sun that has only recently dipped behind the Janiculum Hill. As the sky transitions from a vibrant azure to a deep, restful indigo, you find yourself standing on the western bank of the Tiber River. The water below is a dark, moving mirror, reflecting the first few stars that dare to blink into existence. You turn away from the river and step into the embrace of Trastevere, a neighborhood that feels less like a city district and more like a secret village tucked away from time itself. Here, the streets are not broad avenues, but intimate, narrow alleys paved with cobblestones that have been smoothed by centuries of footsteps. These stones, known to the locals as Sampatrini, are uneven and charming, forcing you to slow your pace and move with intention. As you walk, the sound of your own footsteps echoes softly against the tall, plaster buildings on either side. The walls are painted in shades of burnt orange, ochre, and deep russet, colors that seem to hold the heat of the day and release it slowly back into the night. The light in these alleyways is magical. High above, suspended on wires or attached to ancient facades, high-pressure sodium lamps flicker to life. They cast a warm, amber glow against the terracotta walls, turning the peeling paint and weathered textures into a canvas of gold and shadow. This amber light is soft and forgiving, wrapping the streets in a nostalgic haze that makes the modern world feel very far away. As you wander deeper into the maze of streets, you notice the details that make this place so alive. Heavy iron balconies jut out from the buildings above, their intricate scrollwork silhouetted against the glowing walls. From these balconies, dark ivy drapes downward in lush, cascading waves, reaching toward the street like green curtains drawn for the night. The leaves rustle gently in the faint breeze, whispering secrets to the passers-by below. The air is filled with a fragrance that is unmistakably Roman in the summertime. It is the sweet, intoxicating scent of night-blooming jasmine. The small white flowers tumble over high garden walls and spill from window boxes, perfuming the alleyways with a heavy, floral aroma that invites deep, relaxing breaths. You inhale slowly, letting the scent ground you in this moment, feeling the tension in your chest unravel with every step. The alleyway gently curves, and suddenly the narrow walls fall away, opening up into the expanse of the Piazza di Santa Maria in Trastevere. This square is the heart of the neighborhood, a living room for the community that has stood here for hundreds of years. At this hour, the piazza is beginning to quiet down. The crowds have thinned, leaving behind a sense of spaciousness and tranquility. Dominating the far side of the square is the ancient basilica. Its facade rises majestically, topped by a bell tower that stands watch over the night. Your eyes are drawn to the golden mosaics high upon the front of the church. Even in the fading light, they shimmer with a spectral brilliance. The gold tiles catch the amber glow of the street lamps, illuminating the medieval figures depicted there. They seem to float in the darkness, silent guardians of the peace that is settling over the city. In the center of the piazza sits the fountain, an octagonal marvel of stone that has offered refreshment to Romans since the 15th century. You walk toward it, drawn by the rhythmic sound of falling water. The fountain is raised on steps, a stone island in the sea of cobblestones. You find a place to sit on the cool marble rim, the stone feeling solid and refreshing beneath your hands. From this vantage point, you can watch the water. It rises from the center, bubbling up with a gentle enthusiasm before spilling over the upper tier. It forms a translucent curtain as it falls, catching the light and turning into liquid glass before cascading into the basin below. The sound is a continuous, hypnotic murmur, a lullaby that washes away the last remnants of the day. You settle in, letting your shoulders drop, letting your hands rest loosely in your lap. You are simply an observer, a silent witness to the beauty of the sleeping city. This is the moment when Rome exhales. You can almost feel it, a collective sigh of relief as the hustle of the day evaporates. The shutters on the windows around the piazza are closed, securing the homes for the night. The cars are parked, and the voices of the city are hushed. Rome settles into itself, reclaiming its ancient dignity. It is a heavy, peaceful feeling, a sense of endurance and permanence. Empires have risen and fallen, eras have come and gone, but the stones remain, and the water flows, and the night always brings this gift of silence. Sitting here, surrounded by the ghosts of the Renaissance and the whispers of antiquity, you feel a profound sense of connection to the past and a deep, grounding peace in the present. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to be. You are free to simply exist in this beautiful, amber-lit moment, breathing in time with the city. The anticipation of sleep begins to rise within you, mirroring the quietude of the streets. The water continues its endless lullaby, and the shadows lengthen, inviting you to close your eyes and drift along with the Tiber, flowing gently toward the sea of dreams. The evening has deepened into a rich velvet indigo above the eternal city. You find yourself standing once more at the edge of the Piazza Navona, ready to begin the second night of your journey. The air has cooled, shedding the warmth of the afternoon sun, and now carries a crisp freshness that signals the arrival of true night. The vast, oval shape of the piazza stretches out before you, transforming from a bustling theater of the day into a tranquil sanctuary of shadows and light. You take a slow, deliberate step forward. Beneath your feet, the black cobblestones, known to the locals as Sampitrini, glisten under the warm glow of the iron street lamps. They look like ribbons of dark silk woven across the ground, polished smooth by centuries of footsteps and the gentle dampness of the night air. Walking here feels effortless, as if the ground itself is guiding you deeper into a state of relaxation. Your attention is drawn to the center of the square, where the silence of the city is softened by the presence of water. You begin a slow circle around the piazza, moving toward the three grand fountains that anchor this space like ships in a calm harbor. As you approach the center, the sound grows from a gentle murmur to a constant, rhythmic roar. This is the masterpiece of Bernini, the Fountain of the Four Rivers. The water cascades over rough-hewn travertine marble, catching the light and turning into strands of silver before crashing into the basin below. You pause here, letting the sound wash over you. It is a powerful, steady noise that drowns out the chatter of your own mind. There is a distinct scent in the air here, the mineral smell of wet travertine and old stone, a fragrance that feels as ancient as the earth itself. The mist from the fountain kisses your face, cool and refreshing. You watch the water flow, endless and unhurried, a reminder that everything moves in its own time, and there is no need to rush. Continuing your slow circle, you pass the southern fountain, where the water dances with a softer cadence. The crowds have long since dispersed, leaving the piazza to the statues and the moon. You feel a sense of ownership over this moment, a private audience with the history of Rome. The buildings surrounding the square stand tall and protective, their shutters closed tight, their facades painted in shades of ochre and burnt sienna that look muted and soft in the dim light. Leaving the mesmerizing loop of Piazza Navona, you drift toward the narrow exit at the northern end. You walk the short distance through the winding, canyon-like streets. The buildings rise high on either side, muffling the sounds of the wider city. Your footsteps echo softly against the pavement, a steady rhythm that matches the beating of your heart. It is a short walk, a transition through a corridor of shadows, leading you toward something even older. Suddenly, the narrow street opens up, and the space expands into the Piazza della Rotonda. You stop, taking in the sight before you. Dominating the square is the Pantheon. It rises like a mountain of masonry, dark and solid against the night sky. The sheer scale of it is grounding. You walk toward the portico, where the massive granite columns stand like silent sentinels. They are thick and immovable, having supported the weight of the triangular pediment for nearly 2,000 years. Standing in the shadow of this great structure, you feel a profound stillness. The roar of the fountains is far behind you now, replaced by a deep, resonant silence. This is the moment when the city truly exhales. You look up at the inscription on the frieze, barely visible in the dark, and feel the comfort of endurance. You find a quiet spot to stand near the portico, resting your hand against the cool, rough surface of an ancient column. The stone feels solid and cool under your palm. Here, in the presence of such permanence, your own worries feel small and transient. The city of Rome sleeps around you, a slumber that has been unbroken for millennia. The atmosphere is thick with peace. You breathe it in, filling your lungs with the cool night air. The darkness is not empty. It is a heavy, comforting blanket that wraps around your shoulders. You are safe here, watched over by history, cradled by the stone arms of the city. As you stand in the silence of the Piazza della Rotonda, your eyelids begin to feel heavy, mimicking the weight of the marble around you. The night invites you to let go, to sink deeper into relaxation and to drift slowly into the waiting embrace of sleep. The evening air in Rome has cooled, settling over the cobblestones like a soft, sheer veil. You have left the narrow, winding streets of the lower city behind, drawn toward the gentle rise of the Capitoline Hill. Here, the frantic energy of the day dissolves completely, replaced by a sense of reverence and elevation. Before you stands the Cortinata, the magnificent ramped staircase designed by Michelangelo centuries ago. It is a grand invitation to ascend, to rise above the modern world and step into a space suspended in time. You begin the climb. The steps are wide and shallow, designed not just for feet, but for the hooves of horses that once carried nobility to the summit. This architecture forces a slow, deliberate pace. You cannot rush here. With each long, low step, you feel your breathing slow down, syncing with the leisurely rhythm of your ascent. The city below begins to fall away, its lights blurring into a warm, amber glow in your periphery. At the top of the stairs, two colossal statues of the divine twins, Castor and Pollux, stand guard. They are towering figures of white stone, their forms illuminated by the pale moonlight. As you pass between them, you notice the deep shadows hiding in the hollow eyes of the marble statues. They stare eternally outward, silent witnesses to the history that has unfolded on this hill. Passing them feels like crossing a threshold, leaving the ordinary world for something far more still and sacred. You enter the Piazza del Campidoglio. The space opens up before you, a masterpiece of harmony and proportion. The geometric patterns on the pavement radiate outward in a star shape, guiding your eye and your spirit toward the center. 3 palaces flank the square, their facades ordered and calm, offering a sense of stability that anchors you to the earth. The piazza is nearly empty, a rare and precious solitude in the heart of the capital. The silence here is not merely an absence of noise. It is a physical presence. It is a thick, velvet quiet that cushions the air. Then you hear a sound that accentuates the stillness rather than breaking it. It is the rhythmic clack of leather-soled shoes on stone, echoing for blocks. Someone is walking in the distance, their slow, steady gait reverberating off the canyon-like walls of the palaces. Click-clack, click-clack. The sound is hypnotic, a metronome counting down the moments until total rest. It fades slowly, retreating into the labyrinth of streets nearby, leaving you alone once more. You drift slowly toward the back of the piazza, drawn by the open space between the buildings. You approach the stone balustrade that overlooks the other side of the hill. You lean forward, resting your arms against the cool, weathered travertine. The stone is smooth under your skin, holding the faintest memory of the day's warmth, but dominated now by the chill of the night. Below you lies the Roman Forum, In the daylight, this valley is a bustling theater of tourism. But at night, it is a ghostly, beautiful garden of ruins. The moonlight washes over the broken columns and the arches of triumph, turning the white marble to silver and the brick to deep indigo. It is a landscape of dreams, a silent city within a city. You see the 3 remaining columns of the Temple of Vespasian, standing tall and lonely, and the vast, shadowy curve of the Arch of Septimius Severus. From this vantage point, looking down into the cradle of Western history, you feel a profound sense of perspective. The centuries are layered here like pages in a closed book. The urgency of your own life feels distant, unimportant in the face of such enduring monumentalism. The Forum does not demand anything from you. It simply exists, resting in the quiet dark. A low, muffled tolling of a church bell drifts up from a nearby rayoni. The sound is deep and resonant, traveling heavily through the humid night air. 1, 2, 3. It counts the hours, but the numbers feel irrelevant. The bell is a lullaby, a gentle vibration that hums in your chest and encourages your shoulders to drop, your jaw to loosen. You stay by the balustrade, listening to the city exhale. It is a long, slow release of breath. The traffic is a distant murmur, like the ocean far away. The wind rustles softly through the umbrella pines on the hillside, a hushing sound that whispers of sleep. You feel the solidity of the Capitoline Hill beneath your feet, a foundation of rock that has supported temples and palaces for 2,000 years. It supports you now, holding you up so you do not have to hold yourself. The visual beauty of the piazza behind you and the ruins below you begins to soften as your eyes grow heavy. The contrast between the bright moon and the dark shadows becomes less sharp, blending into a soothing gray. You are safe here, watched over by the marble giants and the ancient stones. The rhythmic echo of the footsteps has long since faded, and the bell has ceased its tolling. There is only the peace of the night, the cool touch of the stone, and the deep, restful silence of Rome waiting to carry you into dreams. The night has deepened, settling over the eternal city like a soft, velvet blanket. You have left the ancient silence of the Forum behind, allowing your feet to guide you through the labyrinthine streets that weave through the heart of Rome. At this hour, past the stroke of midnight, the frenetic energy of the day has dissolved. The scooters are parked, the shutters are closed, and the restaurants have swept away the last crumbs of bread, leaving the cobblestones cool and empty. There is a distinct melody to Rome at night, a song composed of echoes and running water. As you walk, a low, rushing sound begins to fill the air. It grows steadily, a continuous wash of white noise that masks the sound of your own footsteps. You turn a corner, and there it is, the Trevi Fountain, glowing with an ethereal luminosity against the dark backdrop of the sleeping palace behind it. Usually, this place is a sea of people, a cacophony of voices and camera shutters. But now, it belongs only to the night. The space is startlingly open. You walk right up to the edge of the basin, resting your hands on the cool, smooth travertine stone. The water is a masterpiece of movement, cascading over the artificial cliffs, tumbling from the feet of the marble gods who stand watch over the scene. Oceanus, the central figure, looks commanding yet serene, riding his shell chariot through the churning tides. The water is a brilliant, crystalline blue, illuminated from below, dancing and shimmering in a way that hypnotizes the eye. You listen to the waterfall. It is not a chaotic sound, but a heavy, rhythmic pouring. It is the sound of time flowing, endless and unhurried. In the basin below, thousands of coins rest in peace, each one representing a wish cast by a stranger, shimmering under the surface like sunken treasure. You watch the ripples expand and fade, your breath falling into rhythm with the cascading streams. The mist rising from the fountain kisses your face, cool and refreshing, washing away the lingering heat of the day. Pulling yourself away from the mesmerizing sight, you turn toward the side streets, beginning a slow ascent. You are heading toward the Quirinal Hill, one of the 7 summits of the city. The incline is gentle, a slow rise that engages your legs without tiring them. Here, the narrow lanes are bathed in a warm, honey-colored light that spills from the iron street lamps. The light hits the ochre-painted buildings, turning the rough stucco walls into shades of amber and burnt orange. The colors are rich and earthy, grounding you in the warmth of the Roman palette. As you walk, you hear a sound distinct from the roar of the Trevi. It is a smaller, more intimate melody. On the corner stands a cast-iron drinking fountain, known to the locals as a nason, or big nose, for the shape of its curved metal spout. The water flows continuously, a gift from the aqueducts that have fed this city for millennia. You stop beside it, listening to the hypnotic glug-glug of the water as it falls into the small drain below. You lean forward, placing a finger over the end of the spout, diverting the stream through the small hole on top. The water arcs upward, a perfect crystal-clear bow. You lean in to drink. The water is shockingly cold, crisp, and clean, tasting of deep earth and ancient stone. It refreshes you instantly, a pure element that cools you from the inside out. You wipe your mouth with the back of your hand and listen for a moment longer to the steady, reassuring gurgle of the fountain. It is a constant companion in the quiet street, a heartbeat of the neighborhood. Continuing your walk up the hill, the air seems to shift. A sweet, floral fragrance drifts toward you, heavier and more perfumed than the neutral scent of stone and water. It is the heavy scent of wisteria, lingering in the night air. You look up to see the twisted, woody vines draping over a high garden wall. The clusters of purple flowers appearing as dark, soft shapes in the moonlight. The scent is drowsy and intoxicating, a natural perfume that signals the richness of spring. You breathe it in deep, letting the sweetness fill your lungs, relaxing the muscles in your neck and back. Finally, the street opens up, the narrow walls falling away to reveal the vast expanse of the Piazza del Quirinale. You have reached the summit. The space here is immense, a wide plateau of cobblestones under the open sky. In the center, a great Egyptian obelisk reaches toward the stars, flanked by the colossal statues of the horse tamers. Their marble forms muscular and poised against the dark. To your right stands the Quirinal Palace, the home of the president, silent and guarded, its long facade sleeping in the shadows. But it is the view to your left that draws you in. You walk to the balustrade at the edge of the piazza, where the hill drops away to reveal the city spread out below you. From this height, Rome is a sea of rooftops and domes. The dome of St. Peter's Basilica floats in the distance, a glowing pearl on the horizon. The city lights are soft and scattered, like embers in a dying fire. There is no traffic noise here, no shouting, no urgency, just the vast, open silence of the piazza. You find a place to sit on the low stone wall. The stone is still warm from the sun of the day, radiating a gentle heat that seeps into your clothes. You are high above the world, suspended in the quiet space between the earth and the moon. The city below is exhaling, letting go of the day just as you are. The heavy scent of wisteria finds you again, mixing with the crisp night air. Your eyes trace the horizon, but the details are becoming blurry. The visual majesty of the square, the soothing glug of the fountains, and the memory of the honey-colored light all blend into a single sensation of peace. You are perfectly still. The history of the city holds you, the ground supports you, and the night wraps around you. Here, on the quiet hill, looking out over the sleeping capital, you close your eyes and let the silence carry you away. The sun has long since dipped below the horizon, and the fifth night in Rome descends with a gentle, velvet weight. After the majesty of the Quirinal Hill, you find yourself seeking the intimate, hidden pockets of silence that only reveal themselves when the city sleeps. You wander through the narrow, winding cobblestone streets near the Pantheon, where the shadows act as soft curtains, dampening the sounds of the modern world. The air has shifted, losing the sharp heat of the afternoon, and replaced by a soothing coolness that touches your skin like a silk sheet. You turn a corner and step into the Piazza della Minerva. It is a small, secluded square, sheltered by the high walls of the church and the surrounding palazzos. The crowds have vanished, leaving the space entirely to you and the moonlight. In the center of the piazza stands one of the most charming treasures of the city, a sculpture that seems to belong to a dream. It is an elephant carved from pale marble, carrying an ancient Egyptian obelisk on its back. Even in the dim amber glow of the street lamps, the elephant looks friendly and wise. Its trunk curved gently, its body sturdy and grounded. You find a quiet spot to sit on the edge of the fountain base. The water here does not roar, it whispers, a delicate trickle that underscores the silence rather than breaking it. As you sit, the city breathes around you. There is a profound sense of stability here, anchored by the stone elephant that has carried its burden with grace for centuries. Suddenly, the stillness is marked by a sound from deep within the city. A church bell begins to toll the hour. It is not a harsh clang, but a soft bronze vibration that seems to ripple through the air and hum against your chest. You feel the resonance of the bell more than you hear it, a slow, rhythmic pulse that synchronizes with your own heartbeat. 1, 2, 3. The notes hang in the air for a long moment before dissolving into the night. Rising from the fountain, you leave the small piazza and continue your journey southward. The walk is effortless. Your feet move rhythmically over the Sampatrini stones. You cross the thoroughfares that were busy hours ago, but are now empty rivers of asphalt reflecting the moon. The physical sensation of the city is changing as you walk. You can feel the heat finally leaving the pavement, a cooling transition that rises from the ground and wraps around your ankles. It is the feeling of a fever breaking, a return to calm and balance. Your path leads you toward the Aventine Hill, the southernmost of Rome's 7 hills. It is known as a place of retreat, a leafy sanctuary rising above the river. As you begin the gentle ascent, the architecture changes. The buildings here are set back behind high walls and iron gates. The air becomes richer, heavier with the scent of nature. You pass ancient stone walls that line the steep path, and you can smell the damp moss clinging to the mortar. It is an earthy, grounding aroma, smelling of rain and thyme and deep roots. The climb is slow and meditative. With every step upward, the remaining hum of the city fades further away, until there is only the sound of your own breath and the soft scuff of your shoes on the path. You reach the top of the hill and enter the small park known as the Garden of Oranges. The gate is open, inviting you in, the gravel crunching softly beneath your feet is the only sound in this high sanctuary. Umbrella pines stretch their dark canopies against the starless sky, framing the view that opens up before you. You walk to the terrace wall and look out. From the Quirinal, you saw the city as a sea of lights. Here, from the Aventine, you see the city as a living, breathing entity that has finally found rest. The view is softer, more distant. The dome of St. Peter's is there, glowing faintly in the west, but it feels like a guardian watching over the slumbering capital. The river Tiber below is a black ribbon, silent and steady, moving towards the sea. You sit on a wooden bench facing the view. The atmosphere is heavy with tranquility. You can feel the city exhaling. It is a tangible sensation, a release of all the energy and movement of the day. Breathing out into the cool night air, you let your own breath match this rhythm. You inhale the cool, pine-scented air and exhale the fatigue of your journey. The damp moss, the cooling stone, the faint memory of the bronze bell, and the wise silence of the elephant all merge into a single feeling of comfort. You are safe here, perched above history, cradled by the night. Your eyelids grow heavy, mimicking the darkness that has settled over the rooftops below. Rome is sleeping, and now, finally, so can you. The eternal city holds you in its quiet embrace, timeless and still, as you drift into the deep, restorative peace of the night.